All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Wednesday, or no, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Okay, so in today's live stream, we're going to talk about, is college worth the money? Is college worth the money? I know a lot of people go to college, and after you get out, you're wondering, was it worth it? The job you get, maybe it's not what you expected, and so on and so forth. So I'll give my perspective, give my experience with college, and deem whether it's worth it or not. Now, I got a degree in finance. So I would say for me, and I got my degree back in 2012 through 2015. So I got my bachelor's degree early on, and it was during a time where college degrees were actually valuable. Now, not to say it's not valuable now, but I think back then, not as many people had a college degree. So if you had a college degree, I would say from 2012 through 2016, it was worth a lot more. So, yeah, and my degree was in finance. I made sure when I went to college, I was like, I'm not going to go to college and pick something that I'm not going to be able to make money in. I wanted to make sure, okay, I need to come out of college and be able to pay, one, for my student loans, and then two, for just pay for daily expenses. Most people don't account for the type of life the type of lifestyle they want to live after college, and their degree doesn't match up to the lifestyle they want to live, right? So for me, I said, okay, well, let me get a degree in finance. And it wasn't just because of the money. I don't think you really make you don't make crazy money with a finance degree right out of college. You need to get experience. That's one. But two, I saw finance and accounting offer the most jobs. So it wasn't really what paid the most, but it was the availability of jobs, the amount of jobs on the market. So that's another big factor that you need to take in consideration. Is there enough slots for you to get a job after you get out of college? And for a lot of these degrees, the answer is no. So that's why I chose finance. I think finance and accounting probably offer the most positions because you could get into so many things. You could be a financial analyst, you could be an auditor, which is what I did right out of college. You can go into compliance, you can be an accountant, go into be a CPA, and so on and so forth. But yeah, those are the two things I considered. One, am I going to be making a lot of money? And then two, what's the availability of jobs on the market? Is there going to be enough jobs for what? So that way, when my class, the class of 2015 got out, there was going to be enough for, one for me, but obviously, would there be enough to handle the amount of people coming into that field at that time? And yeah, in finance is just a huge space, so you could do a lot of things, especially with a finance degree. But what I figured out, you don't really, because you don't really learn too much about finance when you get a finance degree. It's more like theory and things like that. You learn more on the job depending on what you do. Like if you're going to be a financial analyst or you're going to be an auditor, it just depends on what you do. You don't really learn that until you get into the actually the real world when you start working. So yeah. So if I actually would have known that, I probably would have just did like a business administration degree because the classes in finance were a lot harder. And the time that I was in college, I it was a time where the teachers really didn't curve the test, and you really had to actually study and things like that. So I would say 2010 to 2015 was a rough time to get a degree because I remember my classes being extremely hard, especially towards the end. Like the first 2 years wasn't that bad because you're doing like the prerequisites and stuff like that. But yeah, so for me, the answer to this is it depends. And if you are going to go to college, you need to make sure that you're picking a degree that you're going to make money. Now, most people are like, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to go for what I want to do, and I don't think you should use college for that unless you're going to be like a doctor or a lawyer. Those things, probably yes, right? If those are the things you want to do, but other than that, you probably should just stick to engineering, finance, accounting. If it's not those, then you should probably just focus on like nursing or doctor or lawyer, right? So that's my take on it. I think you should not be going to college for communication, psychology, and stuff. I was actually pretty happy with, well, because I go visit my campus every now and then. I went to USF, and I pass out cards for the channel. And I always ask the students, I say, like, when I'm passing out my cards, I say, what major are you in? What are you studying for? And this last Sunday that I went, they were every student that I approached was either in engineering or finance. So I was pretty excited about that because the last few times that I went, it was like psychology. I was getting answers like psychology, communications, some science degree, and those, again, unless you're going into like the medical field, then those science degrees don't really do much for you once you get out of college. So you need to make sure that you're picking a good degree. Right now, let's take a look at the cost. And I picked up some the university websites to see how much it actually costs to go to school, so you can make sense of it. All right, and then we kind of did. I kind of brought up two websites. Oh, give me just a sec. Let me stop sharing here. Give me just a sec. Give me just a sec. USF ADU, and then PHCC ADU. No. Come on, buddy. All right. Yeah. So I brought up university page, the university that I went to, and then also a community college. Because some people don't want to go to a university right away. They may want to just go to a community college, and that will serve the same. It'll do the same for you, in my opinion. Even if you did like 2 years at a community college and then you transferred over to a university, I think you're going to get the same results. Or even if you just get your whole degree from a community college, I'm not sure if you could. I guess it depends on what you're getting, but some community college offer that. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Make sure. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go to admissions. This is the college that I went to. So let's see how much it costs to actually go to a university. All right, and let's see if it actually makes sense. So what I'll do, and I think everybody should do this, especially if you're thinking about going to college pretty soon. You should go to the university site and see how much money it's actually going to cost you. So it says which aid year are you estimating for. So we'll just go with 2025 through 2026. I'll put Tampa, or maybe I put St. Pete. Undergraduate. And now, see, this is another thing too. A lot of people come from out of state or international, in state. So hopefully you're in state and you don't need to worry about out of state or international calls, right? So we'll just do it the cheapest. We'll do in state. And we'll just do one semester. We'll do fall of 2025, and then it's going to give us tuition. How many hours are you taking? I think when I went, I did like 12 to 15 hours a semester, so it's probably like 4 to 5 classes. I would say for a semester, let's just say 12 hours, right? Let's just go 15, right? It's probably right around the right amount. Do you have any lab fees? I'm not sure. So, right, let's just incur the credit costs, right? The cost to actually take the classes. So, the cost to actually take these classes, per credit hour is $3,204. Now, this is just calculating tuition and fees, right? Let's just go to housing and food. Now, if you are, a lot of people go live on campus, right? They get that full experience. So let's just do on campus. Um, and now they give you different options, right? Let's just do the triple because it looks like the most cheapest. Plan meal, you do gotta, some people do get that, but we'll just do zero. Books and supplies, let's just say 500 a semester. Course specific supplies, but let's just say another 500. All right, so like $1,000. And this is a university. This is not a a community college. So we'll get into the community college. Are you bringing your own vehicle? Yeah, we'll do own vehicle. We won't do any of that. Cell phone bill, all that stuff. But you do have to count all this stuff, right? We won't count all that. Are you a prepaid plan? No. Do you qualify for Bright Futures? I did get Bright Futures, so that helped me out. So I graduated with $18,000 in debt, but that was because I was using it to pay for like food, car costs, and things like that. But and I was also working a part-time job, so that helped me out too. But I was getting Bright Futures, which paid for 100% basically of my college. But let's just say you don't. A lot of you come out of high school, you don't get this funding. Well, let's just say you do receive a grant. Let's just say you receive like a $1,500 grant or $2,000 grant. Let's just say, how much loans would you borrow? So that's on top of the money, right? They're asking, are you going to borrow any money for loans? Some of you may take out loans to pay for the expenses like food and stuff like that. So, but we'll leave that blank. All right. So summary. So the total for the semester would be $5,258.35, right? Now, if you did that, okay, so it shows you right here looking ahead. So 1 year, actually, no, 1 year would be 14,516, and I'm wondering why it's coming out to this amount. So books, oh, okay, so books and supplies, housing, indirect costs, direct costs, indirect costs, funding. So 5,000, but it's still clocking it in. I guess I don't know if they're counting the summer as well. All right, so it looks like 14,000 for 1 year, 2 years, 29,000, and most people get a 4-year degree. So let's just say $58,000 or $60,000. Let's just round up. So you should be making at least $60,000 a year coming out of college. And I could say for most of you, if you have a degree like communications or psychology, you're probably not going to even, it's going to be hard one to even get a job. You're not going to be able to get a job and Two, if you do find a job, they're probably going to give you like $15 to $16 an hour. And most likely, a lot of you would have to intern before you could even get an opportunity to work anywhere. So that's why if you do go to college, I do recommend you start interning before you graduate. That way you can have some type of experience when you get your degree. Like if you could get a job like your third year, that'll be great. Most of you just want to go to college and not work, and I don't think that's a good idea because you got to then you got to make up for that once you graduate. So yeah, so you can see that the university is a lot more very expensive, $60,000 a year. And let's see, for community college, so this is PHCC, this is in Florida too. Okay, so lowest cost tuition, average per semester. So community college is a lot cheaper. And maybe this is an option for you guys because I don't see the point of putting going the whole 4 years at a university because you're going to pay a lot of money. Maybe you do the first 2 years at a community college and then you do the second 2 years to finish out and get your degree. And that will allow you to put that university on your resume and say, okay, I graduated from this university, but you did 2 years at a community college. So I think that's a good strategy too, because if you can cut that $14,000 a year to like 3-4,000, and maybe if you don't live on campus, it starts to make a lot more sense. So yeah, I think college for me, it wasn't a waste because it does teach you how to learn. And now most people would say, oh well, I can learn how to learn outside of college, and that's true, but you're just not forced to. Here you're actually paying for somebody to teach you, and then you got to pass the curriculum, you got to pass the test, and it's just it's a system where you're forced to do it. And during that age period, 18 to 21 or 22, a lot of people that age need to be pushed and need to have that enforcement. So I think that's what it helped me. Even though I'm kind of self-motivated, it was nice being in an environment where you just had to get stuff done because you were paying for it. And then also you do get that benefit of getting the degree. Now, again, you want to make sure the degree is not too expensive and it matches up to what kind of job you could get out at the end. You should just be focusing on those major degrees that will get you a good job. So again, I mentioned finance is good, accounting. And finance and accounting, you still need more. You need more experience to actually make more money in the space, but there's an abundance of jobs. So that's good because when you get out, you could get an entry-level job pretty quickly and then work your way up. So that I'd say that's the good thing about finance and accounting. You can work your way up and make and within like 3 to 4 years get a good six-figure paying job, at least $100K a year if you do it right. But if it's not those two, then I would just stick to like medical or engineering or a lawyer. That's the other three options. Anything else, honestly, does not make sense to me. And if your passion lies somewhere else, then you should just be using the degree that you're not too like even like for me instance, like I'll do the YouTube now. I'm doing the YouTube now, but I'm using the money I make from my job to fund this, right? The camera and stuff like that. And I'm able to use the money I make from my college degree to fund what I'm really passionate about. I think you need to look at it like that, opposed to trying to start off what you're passionate about from the beginning, because typically your passion is not going to make you that much money in the beginning, especially when it comes to these degrees. So I would stick to that. But I would say a college degree can be worth it, but you got to make it worth it and you got to make it work. So just make sure you're doing you're calculating the numbers correctly, and you're not just going to college to have fun. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.